Hello everyone, we're going to be working with cosine rule again, but in this case we're going to be solving for an angle. Cosine, and then we have angle. So previously you had been shown how to solve for a side. Now here we want to show you how to solve for an angle. So first thing to keep in mind is that the triangle it's a non-right angle triangle, and then the formula is going to be cosine of angle A equals to B squared plus C squared minus A squared over 2BC, right? So that is going to be the formula. I repeat again, it's going to be cosine of A, and this capital A, notice capital A, that's going to be angle A equals to B squared plus C squared minus A squared divided by 2BC. Now notice that B, C and A, all of this side are going to be sides. Now when do we know if we're going to use cosine, or when can we solve a triangle by cosine rule? In this case, since we're solving for an angle, what you have to notice from the triangle is that all sides must be given. So once you notice that the triangle has all its sides, then you are able to use cosine rule. In triangle, let's just quickly take a look at the triangle. In this triangle, notice A, B, C, and then let's see, this is 9, 5 and 7, right? 9, 5 and 7. Now notice that in this case, once we have all the sides, we could solve for any of the angles in there once we have the three sides. The only thing that you have to be aware of, that the formula will change based on which angle you're solving. And let me start off by that piece there. If you're solving for angle A, right? If you're solving for angle A, notice that your triangle is going to be the same way how we have it up here. That's going to be solving cosine of angle A equals to, and then that's going to be B squared plus C squared minus A squared over 2BC. What you have to remember is that, notice that if you're solving for an angle A, then you're going to be minusing that same side or angle side, and then you minus here, right? If you're solving for angle B, then that's going to be cosine of angle B, right? So cosine of B, notice that I cannot use B anywhere within the first two letters. So if it's B, then I'm going to put A and then C, and then I'm going to put B last, but I am going to minus that, and then that's going to be over, and then notice that that's going to be 2, and then I said BC here, BC down here, so I have AC here, so that's going to be AC down here, right? If I am solving for C, then I would say cosine of C, which equals to, and then I leave that for you, right? At the end of this video we'll find out what this is, but for right now just try it and then continue watching the video, and then at the end of the video you will find out what this is, right? Alright, so let's continue by solving a triangle. We already know how we're going to write the formulas, and then we're going to see what we can do. Let's say we have triangle here. I'm just doing a sketch of it. I'm not doing it accurately. So let's put this to be 9. This is going to be 16. This is going to be 19. Let's put inches, 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 right? We're going to be solving for all the angles. So here let's put A, or let's change it, M, N, and O, right? We're going to change a little bit so we can, if we're solving for angle N, I know that my formula is going to be cosine of angle N, because I am solving for the angle N. Notice that I'm using a capital letter 2, equals to, and since I know I'm solving for angle N, then I must write the other two sides first. So N, we have M and O, M squared plus O squared. Solving for N, so that means I must minus N squared, divided by 2MO, no squared for this ones. Alright, so that's going to be cosine of N equals to, and then I replace all those numbers for the formula. Let's first identify what we have. Angle N, this is side N. Angle O, so this is going to be side O. Angle M, so that's going to be side M. Okay, and then let's replace. M is going to be 16 squared plus O is going to be 9 squared minus N is going to be 19 squared over 2 times M, 16, and then times O, which is 9. Alright, so far so good. Alright, so we say cosine of N equals, and then we have 16 squared. So let me see if I could do that here. That's going to be 16 squared. That's going to be 256 plus 9 squared, 81, minus 19 squared, maybe 361, right? Then divided by, and that's going to be 2 times 16 times 9. That's going to be 288. We have cosine of N equals to, and then we solve everything now. So that's going to be 256 plus 81 minus 361. That's going to be negative 24 over 288. We say divided by 288. That's going to be that, and then we use second function or cosine, right? Second function or cosine. Now notice, all right, I went a little bit fast here. So whenever you solve the top, you get negative 24, and then that's going to be divided by 288. Notice that here we would have gotten a 0.00 something, but we can't get an answer like that. So what we need to do is, again, notice this side you have cosine of N. We don't want cosine of N, but we just want N. So how do we get rid of this N? We take this cosine on the other side, and then we say N equals 2, and since we took the cosine to the other side, we're going to place cosine like that, but in this case we're going to say -1, and then what we call this is the cosine of -2 4 over 2 8, the same thing on the other side, right? So that is what we have. Now some of you guys have similar to my calculator, so which if you have that, then you just divide 24 negative divided by 288. Notice that is what I would have gotten. I cannot get an answer like that for us for an angle or a side, and then what I need to do is just press second function, and then I get that my answer or my angle n is going to be 94.8 degrees, and then that's going to be 1 dp, because I just choose the first decimal, which is the 7, and because the one that followed is an 8, I added 1 to this, and that became an 8, right? So 94.8, 1 decimal place. All right, so that is what we have. So that means that angle n here, if I go back here, I could fill this out to be 94.8 degrees. So that is what we have. I will quickly do another one or another example, and then hopefully you guys understand how to do it, and then let's see how we have, right? So let's do the same triangle, same labeling. We had 9 here, 16 here, 19 here. We had n here. In this case, we're not going to put what we've solved for it, and then we had n. We had n, m, and o down there. So m and o. Right. So that is what we have, and then all of them we had in what degree? That's going to be inches. Now with our previous example, we found out that this is 94.8 degrees, right? 94.8 degrees. So that is what we found. Now notice that I can use cosine again to solve for any of the other two angles there, and then let me just quickly show you. I'll solve for angle m. Angle m, so we're going to say cosine of angle m equals to, since I'm solving for angle m, I must start out with the other two sides, which is going to be n and o. So there's going to be n squared plus o squared, and I will be subtracting side m over 2NO, right, which is the denominator now. So once I figure that out, then let me just quickly label again what's m, n, and o. This is side m, this is n, m, small m, o, small o. Okay, done. So continue by replacing now. Cosine of m equals to, what is n? N is 19 plus, what is o? O is 9 minus, what is m? M is 16 squared, right? The bottom piece, that's going to be 2 times n, which is 19, times o, which is 9. Right, so that is what we have. Let's continue. We have now, we're going to be solving, we're going to use our calculator to solve this, add up this piece right here. So we're going to say cosine of m equals to, what is 19 squared? That is 361 plus 9 times 9 is 81 minus 16 squared, that's going to be 256 divided by, and then in this case we could multiply that. That's going to be 2 times 19 times 9 gives me 342. Alright, so the next step is we're going to say, alright, cosine of m equals to 361 plus 81 minus 256. That's going to be 186 divided by 342. If I do that, notice that if I say 186 divided by 342, my answer ends up to be 0.54385969. That is not accurate, so I quickly take a look at what I have missed. And then what I have missed is cosine of m. This cosine of m here cannot remain like that. I am solving for m and not cosine of m. So I'll take this cosine to the other side. Right? So remember that piece there. So m equals to the arc cosine. Remember that if you put the cosine to the other side, then just remember to add in this little negative one here at the top. So that's going to be 186 divided by 342, close bracket, m equals to, and then let's move on, and then let's say, alright, so if we have that, then we enter that in our calculator. It's going to be 186 divided by 342. I get that answer there. And then how do I get the arc cosine? Notice that right here the button says cosine, but above it it says arc cosine. Now I just make sure that it corresponds to whatsoever I have. If it corresponds to shift, you press shift. If it corresponds to alpha, you press alpha. But in this case I just have second function, so I will put second function cosine. Notice that what I get is 57.1 degrees, and I'll put 1 dp because that is where I round it off. Now if the problem gives you to how many decimal places you round off, you round it off to that. If it doesn't give you, you round it off to 1 decimal place or 2. Right? So that is what we have. Angle M, we know, is going to be 57.1 degrees. Now, how could I get the last angle, sorry? How could I get the last angle? Right? Very easy. How do I get this angle C? So angle O, not angle C, angle O, we're going to say, alright, we add those two, 948 plus 571, we add those two, and then the answer that we get, we subtract it from 180. Why 180? Because we know that the sum of the interior of the three angles must equal to 180. The sum of all the angles within the triangle equals to 180. So let's do that. 94.8 plus 57.1, that gives me 151.9. so we're going to say 180 minus 151.9, and then that's what we're going to do. 180 minus 151.9, that's going to be 28.1 degrees. 28.1 degrees. So we now know that this angle here is going to be 28.1 degrees. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video and you find it helpful whenever you're doing your assignment.